WWE Friday Night SmackDown is returning to the KFC Yum Center on Friday, June 7th. Tickets starting at $20 online at Ticketmaster.com. It's Battle from the Battleground podcast and 95.7 WQMF Louisville's Rock Station. And today we're joined by the big man himself, somebody who I have never said anything bad about on Twitter because he would keep those receipts. Omos is joining the show. Omos, how are you doing, sir?
I'm seeing those are making the rounds, isn't it? I've been on Twitter in a while, but this is the first I'm hearing about it since instead of that Royal Rumble.
I have learned real quick that what you put out in social media, people see that regardless if you don't think the wrestlers see it, they see it. I saw some of your interviews where you kept receipts. So
Oh no, brother, and that's just the tip of the iceberg. I have so much more.
Oh, well, I will tell you, there is nothing bad that is said on our Twitter at all about you. All good things. And speaking of good things, I was talking to my 7-year-old, big fan of professional wrestling, and I told him that I was interviewing today. And he said, "Can you take something and show him?" And I said, "Of course I can." So he decided to pack these in my bag today.
So your kid is awesome.
I've got the basic figure and the elite figure right here. And I just got to know, I mean, what's it like seeing your own action figure? I mean, it's got to be a special moment for any wrestler, but what was your first reaction when you saw yours, and how does it feel to have these action figures that I have in my hand representing you?
To be honest, it's still surreal, and I have to pinch myself. You know, being a kid from Nigeria, come from, I never imagined the day that I would have my own action figure where, folks who enjoyed what I did as an entertainer want to go purchase my action figure and a statue that was built that looks like me, that like it has all my characteristics. It's still profoundly gratified, and I'm just extremely humbled that I have that privilege, because not many people have that privilege to say they have an action figure of themselves in the stores.
Absolutely. And I got to tell you, it was kind of one of those, like, he didn't want to let these go because currently right now you're involved in a steel cage match. With all the titles, he's giving you all the titles, and he was like, "Hey, he can go later today and then come back later tonight." So
I love it. I love it.
I just wanted to share that with you. Big fan of yours.
No, that's amazing. And let's let your son know I really do appreciate it, and it means a lot to me.
I will definitely pass that along to him. I do want to kind of dive into this because, I mean, you hear everybody's story when it comes to WWE. Can you share some insights into your recruitment process with WWE, and like what aspects of your background or skills stood out during that time for them?
I think for me, when I came in and I had my trial, because my trial was more of a individual trial, because when I reached out to WWE for the second time, once I was kind of trying to figure out what I want to do in my life, it was a thing of, okay, let me come for the shot. I didn't know what to expect. I was still coming out of basketball. So I think when I did my trial, what stuck out the most was for a guy who's 7'3", over 400 pounds, I was able to move pretty well. And they were actually quite impressed with how, agile and athletic I was for my size. And I had pretty good footwork. And that's all a testament to 14, 15 years of just playing basketball. And especially as a center, all we do is ladder drills, footwork drills, and jump ropes. And surprisingly, that footwork transferred into the wrestling ring.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, it's been awesome to just see how far you've come along in that squared circle with WWE. And right now, it seems like you're kind of paired up with MVP, which has been a significant part of your journey. How has his guidance influenced your growth as a WWE superstar?
I mean, to be honest, he acts as a second eye when it comes to critiques, and he's able to see the performance from a different angle, both as he's on the apron watching the match. Some things I might not be able to see during the match. He sees it and he critiques me, and it's just like more of the little in betweens that are not very noticeable, by the audience. But if you're an elite performer, you see those things, and that's what separates the good performers from the great performers. Those little in betweens. I don't really know how to explain them, but that's how it was explained to me, and I kind of understand. It's like it's what takes the match from amazing to magical. It's just very little sprinkles here and there. So he's been extremely helpful with that, and also just continue to be professional in this business, because this business is extremely professional, and carrying yourself like a businessman, and you come into a job and being professional. So he's been of an extreme help in that regard.
Absolutely, for sure. Now, and you look at kind of like MVP's track record. He, not only is he a talented wrestler, he's also been very good at managing wrestlers as well. How did that all, I guess, come about? Because I know we were just watching WWE, and all of a sudden it's Omos and MVP together.
To be honest, that was a thing that I think it came off after WrestleMania, Dallas, that MVP and I were going to be paired together, and the feud for the next couple of months was going to be myself and MVP against Bobby Lashley, and that's just how that happened. I found out literally after Mania in Dallas. Yep, like okay, is MVP, you're doing this match, and I think it was actually that Monday after WrestleMania that he turned on Bobby.
Yeah.
If I recall, yeah. So that was when everything happened. So, it was a switch like, okay, it's time for MVP to go, manage the biggest, literally the largest human being in WWE roster, which is me.
Absolutely, for sure. Omos is our guest right now. WWE Friday Night SmackDown returns to KFC Yum Center Friday, June 7th. Tickets starting at $20. You can grab them online at Ticketmaster.com. Now, I do want to go back a couple of years before, I guess you're actually stepping foot into the ring. Raw Underground. Yes. We're good. I see the smile on your face, so you kind of know. It brought kind of a unique twist to WWE programming. A lot of people are like, what is this? What's happening? What was your, I guess, initial reaction when they pitched that concept to you? And overall thoughts looking back now that it's kind of in the rearview mirror, thoughts on that, and maybe could have gone better? Or
I wouldn't necessarily say it was pitched to me. It was more of a, hey, we need a giant at the door. And you fit perfectly. And I was like, hey, this is an opportunity for me to be on TV, and I'm going to go be the best bodyguard there ever was. And that's what I did. And, it was great, the interactions with myself and Shane McMahon. And we had a lot of fun with those promos, right before you walked through the door. And I had a lot of fun with that.
Now, when did they kind of give you a little bit of creative freedom with your role as the the bouncer, the bodyguard, or was it?
Yes. I think it was Shane would just call the promos, and he would just tell me just about whatever he said, just respond to him, which is kind of like an improv style, and it kind of helped me stay on my feet, and I had to learn how to be quick with my responses, and it worked. It was actually pretty good.
Yeah, and it got you some TV time, and then you're out here at WrestleMania, and you got MVP in your corner. So I think as some people say, it wasn't that great. It was a failed segment. It obviously wasn't a failed segment for you because it got you.
No. Actually, there's one that got me out there before that, but I thought you were going to mention that, but you didn't mention it. So I'm going to take the Raw Underground.
A lot of people are talking about the new game that's coming out, the WWE 2K. And, a lot of people talk about their rankings, and it's a big deal for not only the wrestlers, but many fans. Last year, I was looking at it. Your ranking was 82 last year. They haven't released this year's rankings. Do in-game rankings matter to you, and how do you feel about the virtual representation of your skills in the game?
I think my skills are actually pretty good. I know, I've seen a lot of people who really enjoy playing as me in the video game online. I see clips here and there, so that's been an amazing thing to see. But when it comes to the ratings, obviously I want to be higher. Everybody wants to be 99%, man. You want to be in that 90s mark. But at the end of the day, even if I'm not in that, 80, 90s, I'm so good for them. I'm in a video game. You can play me as a video game, so that is a plus. That's a win for me.
Absolutely. I mean, you got your own action figure. You're in a video game. When it comes to rankings, is there anybody that you want to make sure that your rankings are higher than them on the WWE roster?
Actually, no. I never really thought that deep into it, so probably not.
A little playful jab of haha, I got more higher rankings than you, Ricochet, or
To be honest, I never thought about it until this very moment. I think I'm gonna make it cognizant. I must put it on my list.
There you go.
Things to do. Yes, thank you.
Okay, well, look at us. We're just out here breaking ground and
absolutely. I love it.
And that's what we do. And now here's the fun part of these interviews when we have wrestlers on. A lot of people are fearing ChatGPT about it taking jobs and everything else like that. So we turn to ChatGPT and we allow the robots to ask our guest a question. Normally, it's one of those ones where it's like, how did you become a wrestler? Which is very dumb because you get that question a lot. But this is the question our ChatGPT robot decided to ask you today. How would you fare in a tag team match against a duo of wrestling kangaroos with one punching opponents and the other delivering high flying kicks?
That is pretty outlandish and hilarious at the same time. But like I always say, I'm not just the Nigerian giant for any reason. It means I can conquer anything. So my guess is, I'll probably take out those kangaroos pretty easy.
And there it is. And one last thing before we let you go. As a rising star in WWE, there's a lot of things going on. We're just barely into 2024. What are some goals or plans that you have for 2024? I know we're on the road to WrestleMania currently. You have any big goals ahead for 2024 that you want to set for WWE?
Yeah. I think obviously the one coming up is the Super Bowl of WWE. So hopefully I get to have a match at WrestleMania. That's always my goal every year. Shoot to be on that card because WrestleMania is a dream for some, but man, it's an honor for me whenever I get to be out there. Be with the fans and just absorb the atmosphere of about 80 to 100,000 people. There's nothing like it, man. Nothing
Oh,
at all. So
sure.
that is always my biggest goal every year.
Absolutely. And I mean, you sit back and you go to last year's with your match last year, and that was all that people talked about was how's this going to play out, what's going to happen. And I got to tell you, fantastic match that you had last year at WrestleMania, and
Thank you.
looking forward to seeing how you're going to top that one this year. Because I mean, it was.
Oh man, I've been working, man. I've been silent, but I've been working. We work every day.
I mean, I think we need to see Omos versus Bobby Lashley and Street Profits, and then of course Street Profits and Bobby Lashley probably don't win because I mean they're going against the Nigerian giant Omos.
Hey man, I love that rematch, man. I need my rematch with Bobby. He
Let's
owes
do
me
it.
one.
WrestleMania, we've already booked it. There we go. Triple H,
There
I
we
know you're probably not watching, but Omos,
go.
Bobby Lashley, WrestleMania, let's book it.
Yeah, let's
Real
do
quick
it.
before I let you go, is there anything that you want to talk to or tell people that are watching or listening to this right now?
Um, you know, sometimes life is hard. It gets tough. We get down, we get depressed. But one thing I've always learned through my own life experiences is always move forward. One step at a time. Let's persevere, and all that will be a blur of the past. That's it.